Well, thank you everybody for joining our October section meeting. Obviously a little different than what our October section meeting typically is, but I'm sure this is very similar to what meetings have been like for everybody for the last few months. But we don't have a webinar as such, on the education side, but wanted to give everybody a chance to meet the new board, ask questions and whatnot. Have a couple other items to talk about as well. Couple housekeeping notes. We are going to record this, throw it up on our YouTube channel. So folks that weren't able to make it can watch it if they want to. I'd ask everybody to mute for now until we get to the Q&A. It looks like everybody is. And then once we get to the Q&A, either unmute, ask the question. Otherwise, there is a chat that you can put a question in and we'll read it. Or I think there's even a raise your hand function in here too, to go that way. But I would like to start the meeting by announcing, I guess, our Outstanding Engineer of the Year recipient for 2020. This would have been done last April if we had a awards banquet, but we decided when the pandemic hit to kind of push us off until the fall, hoping that we'd be able to meet in person, but obviously not able to. So every year our section, I think this is the third year now that we've selected an Outstanding Engineer of the Year. It was established to recognize outstanding contribution of local engineers and civil engineering profession. Some of the selection criteria include outstanding technical contributions to the civil engineering profession, outstanding professional leadership contributions to civil engineering, significant contributions to the local community representing civil engineering, outstanding contributions in the area of civil engineering education, and of course, the recipient must be a ASCE society member and of the Minnesota section. I would like to congratulate Jason Stabell for this award. I know he's on. Give you a quick little bio and I'll let him say a couple words if he wants. But Jason has nearly 20 years of engineering experience. After graduating from North Dakota State University, Jason spent 12 years at H&TB. He is currently a principal project manager in the design division at Hennepin County, where he has worked for the last 7 years. Jason has held positions in ASCE with the Younger Member Group, as well as the Transportation Committee. He is currently the first past president of the Minnesota section, which caps off nearly a decade of service on the ASCE Minnesota board. In 2016, Jason accepted the challenge of leading a team to create Minnesota's first state infrastructure report card. The report card was released in October 2018 and has been a crucial piece in educating the legislators and the public on the need to improve the state's infrastructure. Jason has also served in leadership positions with MSCS, where he just completed a term as president of that group. On behalf of ASCE, we would like to thank Jason and recognize him for his outstanding commitment to the engineering profession.
Well, thank you. I'll hold up the plaque that they sent me. Socially distanced. So thank you very much. Very surprised, and all I can say is thank you. You can start the playoff music now. So that's all I got.
Thanks, Jason. Now, I guess I'd like to go through with board introductions. Before we start with Jialing as first past president, I would like to thank him for his service for the last probably decade, maybe 9 years, maybe not quite 10, but virtually present him a plaque, which I'm also hoping he got in the mail. Looks like he's getting it. So
yes, I got it. Thank
our
you.
famous, yep, our famous plaque with the
Yeah.
gavel on it. So thank you, Jialing, for your last 10 years or so of service and the upcoming year.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to serve
Hopefully
for the board.
many years to come.
Thank you.
So I guess I'd like you to start if you could, and then I'll just roll down the list after that. I think we're all gonna name, current position, where we went to college, what our job title is, why we're on the board.
Sure. Hey, thank you, Jess. Tim, my name is Jialing Le. I'm a first past president of the board. I did my college in Singapore, and this is where that I joined ASCE as a student, and then I moved to Northwestern for my PhD, and then I joined the faculty at the University of Minnesota in structures in 2010. Shortly after that, I had the opportunity to serve on the board, and this is where I am now. So I still teach structural engineering at the U. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll go next. My name is Tim Lampkin, the president of the section. Went to college at the University of Minnesota. Currently a senior transportation engineer with Bolton & Mink, where I lead project and design manager role there. Main focus on designing of state and county highways, with a kind of specialty focus on roundabouts and downtown corridors. I guess the main reason I'm serving on the board is to advance the profession, it's kind of the cliche. But also I remember when I was, in college as a student and what ASCE kind of helped me through mentoring and stuff. And I want to give back to those, to, any students that are on right now. You could be where we're all sitting right now as the board and in a very short amount of time. And that's it. Andy?
Good afternoon. Hi, I'm Andy Nordseth. I'm the president-elect. I went to school at the University of Minnesota several years ago. Now I'm working as a transportation program manager for Stantec. I manage the business development for transportation projects throughout the Midwest. I'm also a bridge engineer. I like to work on a variety of projects, but I like to seek out the larger scale ones if I can. I volunteered for the board to be connected to the community in which I live and work. Whether it's a few hours helping others in need or maybe many years of commitment to an organization such as ASCE, it always feels good to contribute.
Thanks, Andy. Jeremy?
All right, I'm Jeremy Walgrave, the current treasurer, and I served as treasurer last year. And then previous to that, I was the director of events. I graduated from University of Nebraska-Lincoln. I like to say back in the 1900s, by about a month, so 1999, which, yeah, I'm about 20 years of experience, and I'm a water resources engineer at SCH. One of the things that I've always really enjoyed about ASCE is it just has allowed me to get connected to lots of other people that I just never would run into in my career. And so I've just found that as just it's really inspiring and enjoyable to meet lots of different people. And that those experiences made me want to get more involved in the board and give back and just provide those opportunities for other people. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Ariel?
Hello, everyone. Ariel Christensen. I'm a structural engineer at SEH. I am the secretary for the upcoming year for the board. Will primarily be taking meeting minutes for the group. At work, I am a structural engineer for primarily water projects, water treatment facilities, and also wastewater and aviation projects. So I like the fact that ASCE for me professionally has been to tie it all together with the report card and such that I can talk about all the different infrastructure sectors and how I can help spread the message of what ASCE is doing. That's really great and helping further the profession, kind of echoing what Tim said. And then just in general, I've had a really group of leadership before me that's kind of paved the way. And I've just found a really good network within ASCE, especially ASCE Minnesota section. So look forward to a few more years to come. And thanks for having me on the board.
Thanks, Ariel. Alyssa?
Hi, my name is Alyssa Johnson, and I am currently the outreach director for the second year. And I went to school at NDSU, and currently I'm working at SRF, and it's been, I think, 7 years that I've been there. And I'm a transportation engineer, specifically designing highways for county and state, mostly MnDOT projects and interchanges. And I would say the reason why I'm on the board is definitely networking. You get to meet a lot of people, and you end up kind of crossing paths at some point too. And it's fun to meet people this way. But also from a director standpoint, or sorry, outreach, I was very heavily involved in SWE in college in the outreach positions, and it was just a lot of fun. And it's great to see, especially younger kids, just get excited about engineering and just kind of plants a seed in their mind that it's a cool thing to get involved into. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Thanks, Alyssa. Lauren?
Hi, I'm Lauren Linderman. Hopefully you can all hear me. I'm a faculty at the University of Minnesota in the structures area. I did my undergrad at the Washington University in St. Louis, and then my PhD at Illinois. And I originally joined ASCE as an undergrad. And I'm the director of events. This is my second year, so I'm the person who keeps sending you all these emails. And our events have changed a little bit, but I'm hoping we can keep them going. So I joined the board to get more involved with the community of engineers, learn a little bit more about the projects that are going on and some of the concerns and interests of engineers in the region. So I'm excited to keep working on this, and I hope you find these events useful.
Thanks, Lauren. Tumer?
Hi, this is Tumer Akakın. I'm the incoming communications director. I went to college at Boğaziçi University, Istanbul, Turkey. I did my master's on structural engineering and PhD on construction materials. And I'm working currently for Aggregate and Ready Mix Association of Minnesota. And I'm helping the producers, users with the specifications. And I'm also training people who are coming to concrete and aggregate industry. And why I volunteer to the board, I want to get more involved in the engineering community and contribute to them. And thanks for having me on the board.
Thanks, Stuart. Riley, are you on? I don't think I saw you. Okay, Riley is, Dvorak is our new Director of Awards, was just elected this year. So he will be coordinating our section awards and with each of the student awards at the 3 student chapters. So I'm sure you will see him over the next couple years. Matt?
Hi, my name is Matt Hardiger. I am currently the Younger Member Group President. I graduated from the University of Notre Dame back about 5.5 years ago. Currently work at SRF as well. Also in the highway group as a senior engineer, mostly doing MnDOT and county projects with what seems to be a focus on grade separations and expansions. And I'm on the board because I, through college and early in my career here, have been able to benefit a lot from ASCE from a networking perspective. And I wanted to be able to give the chance for other young engineers to have those opportunities to meet each other early in their careers and build their networks.
Thanks, Matt. Do we have any committee chairs on that would like to speak about their committees? I don't think I saw any, but thought I would ask. Okay. It's moving on to the installation of the officers. I'd like to introduce Craig Bursch, who is our newly elected governor of Region 3, one of the newly elected governors of Region 3. So I'll let Craig introduce himself and go through the installation script.
Okay, great. Thanks everybody for the invitation. Before becoming a regional governor, I didn't realize that this was part of the gig. It's kind of fun to pop back in to see some familiar faces at Minnesota Section and meet some new people as well. So I'll just follow what everyone else did and give a little bit of my background. Much like Jeremy, I went to college at the University of Minnesota in the 1900s, which seems like forever ago. Bounced around the country for a little while, came back to Minneapolis in 1999, was a member of Minnesota Section until 2005 when I moved to Duluth, and have been a member of Duluth Section since 2005, and did a board rotation up here. And section leadership at times is really fun and exciting and good times, and other times it's a lot of work. So tip of the cap to everybody who's coming out of the Minnesota Section board again this year. So with that, I'll lead into the installation script provided by ASCE. Election to a position of leadership in a volunteer organization is an honor and unique responsibility. Your fellow members, in electing each of you to your respective offices, have given you their trust. They have expressed confidence that you will be able to discharge the various duties with effectiveness and distinction. As officers of the Minnesota Section of the American Society of Civil Engineers, you will represent your membership to the citizens of your geographic area. As a civil engineer, you have dedicated your professional and technical knowledge to the advancement and betterment of society. You have pledged to do your best, to participate at the highest ethical standards of professional engineering conduct, and to serve the public above all other considerations. New officers, do you pledge to uphold the governing documents of the American Society of Civil Engineers and those of the Minnesota Section? And do you, in the presence of your fellow members, pledge yourself faithfully to discharge the duties of the office to which you have been elected to the best of your ability? If so, please answer, I will.
I will.
I will.
I will.
Now for everyone else who is not an incoming officer, you have heard the pledge of your officers-elect. Unless they have your wholehearted support, they will not be able to fulfill their pledge so faithfully given. Do you therefore promise to support your officers as they guide the Minnesota Section through the coming year? Will you assist them whenever you are called upon for help in undertaking the various activities they plan? Will you encourage and advise them and refrain from unjust criticism of their plans and actions? If so, please answer, I will.
I will.
I will.
I will.
Way to go, Jason. Way to get that in there. Let these mutual pledges be your commitment that the American Society of Civil Engineers may be an increasingly greater force for the well-being of all citizens of the world whose lives are impacted by our civil engineering projects. As a designated representative of the President and the Board of Direction of the American Society of Civil Engineers, I now declare each of you officially installed into the office for which you were elected. Congratulations and best wishes, everyone. Round of applause.
Thank you, Craig. We're running pretty fast, a little ahead of schedule. I think I've noticed quite a few past presidents on. Would any of you like to speak? Or maybe start off the Q&A with some good, tough questions for the current board?
Sure, Tom Eggum here. I don't have questions, but I really appreciate all of you being willing to be officers in a kind of difficult time. Good work and good luck.
Thank you, Tom.
Hey, Tim and everybody.
Jim?
I second what Tom said. I know it's a large time commitment and it's very challenging right now, but I am curious about committees and how those are going to be handled moving forward, particularly the Transportation Committee, which is near and dear to my heart, I guess. Any ideas there?
Sure. I'll start. Maybe Andy can help a little bit too. So we have been in contact with all the committees and just encouraging them to kind of do what the board's doing, meet online as much as we can. Really with the focus of staying relevant over the next year until we can, get back in front of people face to face. The Transportation Committee specifically, has not moved too quicker than I guess it has. It tends to have one or two events a year, lunch meetings and such. I know the report card committee for the 2022 update is getting kicked off this year, which ends up pulling at least one or two from each of the committees and specialty areas. Andy, have you talked to some of the other committees in the last month or two?
It's about the same that you mentioned, Tim. Yeah, they're struggling a little bit trying to gauge, interest, and obviously we know why. So yeah, we're trying to stay afloat, and hopefully we can get back on track. In the very near future here. The Legislative Committee does have a lot of steam as well. Coupled with the Report Card Committee, so they've been doing a lot to try to keep the voice of infrastructure needs to the people that need to know that. So that's all very important. We've re-energized the Water Committee a bit with some new leadership. So there's a new committee chair, Tyler Johnson, with the Water Committee. So hopefully we'll see some changes there too and some growth.
Thanks, Andy. What other questions do we have?
Tim, I was just going to mention, as far as membership engagement, we do have that annual survey that we sent out to all of our membership, and historically we've gotten really low voter turnout on our feedback, but we do actively read everyone's answers, and we go through those at the annual meeting and we see if there are things from that we can implement in the coming year. And I think even the president looks over the results and does a little blurb in our fall newsletter to sort of recap the results too. So I would certainly reach out. As a former director of communications, we're always looking for people to reach out. If you have questions or whatever, just shoot us an email. But then we also have social media followings on Twitter, LinkedIn, primarily those two, and as well as our website. So just putting in a plug for communication.
On that note, may I ask a question?
Absolutely.
I am new to Minnesota and to the chapter. It's my first meeting, so for a completely newbie, is there a website where I can check in, even if I cannot make all the meetings, where I can keep track of meeting minutes, what other groups are doing? Is there an organized place where I can follow things?
Yeah, so the section has a website, ascemn.org. Yep, okay, I got that right. And it has all of our newsletters, past newsletters. It also will have links to all of the news feeds that we send out to all the social media. Ariel, you'll have to help me out, or Tumor. Do we put the board minutes on there?
It appears that I can see upcoming events, section news and notes.
I don't think the minutes are on there. The newsletters link to our Google Drive account, which just has a historical, all the newsletters, they go back quite a ways. And those are put out approximately quarterly. We're trying to move to a little bit more social media based platform for the newsletters. So we're trying to put out articles on our website as events happen this year. That'll be something new. And then pushing those updates out on LinkedIn and Twitter. And then the newsletter then would just be compilation of the past articles. So the articles that come out would be sort of real time, which is a little bit, I think, more helpful in today's era. I don't believe the minutes are public.
The minutes are not public.
So you need to be group members to follow the minutes.
Yeah, and that would just be the board minutes. We don't typically take minutes at section meetings. So I'll take a little step back for those that are new. What we try to do for section meetings is meet once a month. We usually take the summers off, so we end up having 9 or 10 section meetings, and in each section meeting, we ask one of the committees to lead it, so that we kind of. October is historically a water resource environmental meeting, and obviously this year it's just been a little different how that works. We usually hit the third Thursday of the month. Is that right, Lauren? I think is what we shoot for, is the third Thursday of the month, to try to keep a little consistency there. Then whether it's a noon or evening meeting, dinner meeting. We're going to try to keep doing that this year, and I think it'll be probably lunch webinars for the most part, with the exception of next month. So November has historically been MSU in Mankato hosts the meeting, and they're going to again this year. It'll be a webinar, and it, I believe, is an evening 5 o'clock start. And then December, we don't have a topic for a meeting, but we do have it on the calendar for the 17th. I'm not sure if it's not on the actual website calendar, we'll get a link there shortly. January is typically a membership appreciation event. Don't know if we'll be able to do that this year, but we usually just get together and have hors d'oeuvres and just chat. Just have an opportunity to network. February is led by the Geo Institute, and it coordinates with the Geotechnical Conference at the U. I'm not sure what their plans are this year, if they're still kind of on hold waiting to see what happens. March, we coordinate a meeting with ASCEMN. And then April is our awards banquet. So we typically try to get the events on the calendar as soon as we know the date and can verify some of the details. But if you had to guess, the third Thursday of every month, we try to do something.
Thank you. And do you send calendar invitations?
It'll go out through, we use Constant Contact and for our communications. And if you're a member through the society, every month or every couple of weeks, we get the email list, and anytime we have any communication, we'll send it out via email.
Thank you.
On the calendar, we also include the constant contact event link. So if you don't get the email or it goes to spam, you can find it there as well to sign up directly.
Thank you.
Yep. And if all else fails, you can email any of us and we can get you the
That
information.
should work. Thank you.
Yep.
Our emails are on the website too, but just wanted to mention whatever email that you have on file with the Minnesota section is the one that you have on file with the society, ASCE. So when you pay your dues annually and you sign up, just double check in your settings there that you've got the right email address. That's often how we get a lot of people falling off without their knowing is an old email address.
It's a common issue. Yes.
Good questions. Thank you.
I know the committees are always looking for speakers. So if you have an idea or you have an interesting talk, we're always looking for good speakers. So feel free to reach out to the committee that you think it would be relevant to or directly to us if you have ideas.
What other questions do we have out there?
Tim, could you just back up a step and mention like what other student groups we have, younger member groups, and just sort of our reach with Minnesota?
Sure. So the Minnesota section is pretty much the entire state of Minnesota except for the Arrowhead. I don't know how many counties that includes 5 or 6 counties of the Arrowhead, which is the Duluth section, which also I think goes into Superior a little bit. But we do a lot of coordination with the Duluth section, especially on the younger member group side. So with all of the technical committees that we were kind of talking through, there's also a younger member group. Pretty much anybody 35 and under, and even if you're pretending like you're 35 and under, I suppose too, can help out. Very much focused on outreach and networking, networking within the profession, and then also outreach to students. There are also 3 student chapters: University of Minnesota, Mankato, and St. Thomas. All have student chapters that are very, very active. And have lots of opportunities to help with. I'm trying to think. So actually, University of Minnesota has their career fair next week. I think it's next Tuesday. It's an online event, which will be, I know, interesting for all of the colleges across the country. I'm sure almost all doing online events for their career fairs. So that's next Tuesday. I know the student chapters are always looking for speakers too, to come talk to the section or to their chapters about really anything engineering and to network. Any other questions?
I'll just clarify, Tim, Duluth section is 10 counties in
10,
northeastern
okay.
Minnesota and 6 in northwest Wisconsin.
Ah, okay. Thank you.
Very weird.
Yeah.
To have 2 states, but.
Yep.
There's a couple of things I could chime in with, if you don't mind.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. I did attend our first regional governors meeting a couple of weeks ago for the year and went through my own little hazing welcoming event, virtual online. But a couple of things that are going in front of the board of direction this week of interest is there will be a chance for people in ASCE to vote on whether student members should be able to vote in national elections. And I had been unaware that students were not eligible to vote in National Society elections. So I think there's some thought that because they don't pay dues, they shouldn't get a vote. I'm of the opinion they should, but I think that's something that will be coming down from the board of direction to the region and section level soon for comment and possibly vote. It could, I think it could go out to the general membership as a vote also. So that's something to keep your eyes on. And then another topic that they were bringing up was charging life members more on an annual basis for the dues at the society level. And I think everyone in the Region 3 board gave a very strong don't do that opinion to Carl, who sits on the National Board of Direction. If someone's been paying dues for 30 years, I think that's probably enough. I think they can show up for the very nominal fee that they get charged for magazines and whatnot without having to pay another $100 or $150 a year. You know, we often quoted, we had a member up in Duluth that was coming to section meetings well into his 90s, and we didn't charge him when he showed up. It would have been terrible. It would have been terrible to charge him $20 for a meal, so or dues for showing up that late into his life. But so those are a couple topics that came up that might be coming down to the section level and the membership level that you should all be aware of. Most sections are, after figuring some things out this summer, are moving into the virtual meeting world this fall. Some with more success than others, but generally attendance not dropping off or going up is what I've been hearing. And then I just would like to say, when the next round gets going for the Minnesota report card, please feel free to reach out. I can help facilitate some connections with people in Duluth section who'd be wanting to jump into various committees and serve as either committee members or authors. Tim, you were kind enough to get me on the distribution list for Minnesota section meetings and board meetings. I won't be attending everyone, but I do plan to pop in from time to time just to see how things are going. And if there's any issues I should be bringing upwards or any communication from the region level to come down to the section level. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Any other questions? Well, I'd like to thank everybody for joining today. Looked like we had a little north of 30 participants, which is good. I think that's actually pretty typical for our October meeting. So thank you all for joining. I would like to thank all of our sponsors. If you were on early enough to see the slides going through, we have a number of corporate sponsors that help out over the course of the year. Very much appreciative of that. And then lastly, look for a meeting invite for our next meeting on November 19th. MSU will be hosting that, and more information to come, but November 19th is the date. With that, I'll thank you again and hope everybody has a wonderful day.
Thanks, everybody. Good job today.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Tim.
See ya.
Thank you.
Congrats, Jason.
Thank you.